Hey y'all, so this is Dr. Tasha Rogers and back. Today I want to talk about herpes outbreaks and natural or home remedies. And you have people, obviously, like I said before, in the African American population, 82% of women over 40 are positive for herpes, and that's of the doctors who check, which is not many, and that's of the women who go to the doctor. So it's probably significantly higher than that. And with that being said, it's a significant problem that, a lot of women are facing. They don't necessarily want to be on the medication. They're embarrassed to go to the pharmacy, and everybody doesn't need to be. Again, if you watch my herpes video, if you don't or you didn't watch the video, scroll on back to my podcast. I did a whole podcast on herpes. And so if you need the medication, or if you're having outbreaks or whatever the case may be, and you just don't want to be on the medication, you're like, I've read the side effect profile, I don't really want to do it, I feel embarrassed to go and pick it up from the pharmacy, I don't want to have it in the house, a bunch of different stuff. Again, we listen, we don't judge. I don't know why you may or may not want to take it, but what I'm here to do today is bring some natural or home remedies that are known to help with herpes outbreaks. Now, it's so funny because when I was kind of like making sure that I kind of knew everything and investigating and evaluating, I was like, well, damn, I probably should make one of these oils for you guys. I'm not about to invent another thing. I can't do it. My staff is tired. I'm tired. I'm not doing it. So I'm going to give y'all the secret sauce and y'all can work it out at the house. Okay. I'm not doing it. I don't want nobody calling me like, it ain't work for me. Girl, it ain't magic. And I don't want to go back and forth with that. So I'm going to give you guys the ins and outs and these are home remedies. Of course, you're going to have some things that are going to work for some people, other things that are going to work for others. It's one of those eat the meat and throw away the bone. And if you don't know what that means, that essentially means take what's useful for you and discard everything else, because everything is not useful for you doesn't mean that none of this information is useful to you. So if you can pick up a pearl from it, great. If you didn't learn anything, that's fine too. But for people who are really interested and, going in the kitchen and whipping up something, natural and having, I guess, the perception is having less side effects than benefits. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, one of the things that you can always do is use a cool compress if you're having an outbreak, especially on an area that you can reach. You don't have to get fancy with this cool compress, okay? It can literally be ice and a washcloth. One thing you never, ever want to do is put ice directly to the skin, because that can actually cause skin damage and tissue damage. You do not want tissue damage. So I would say definitely you can do a cold compress. It helps with inflammation, and you can do it about every 4 hours or so if you should like. Okay, so that's one thing. The next thing is going to be topical garlic. And I mean like fresh garlic out the refrigerator. You peel it, you cut it. But let me forewarn you. You listening? If you put fresh garlic on an outbreak, it's going to burn. I'm not saying it ain't going to help, but it is going to burn. Okay, so sis and bros, it is going to burn. Okay, just so you know. The next thing we can do, but I need you to hear me very clearly, is you can do topical apple cider vinegar, but not straight up apple cider vinegar. You don't want that kind of problem. I promise you, you don't. You need to dilute it. So I probably would do 50-50 with water. If you're not sure what 50-50 is, that means do a tablespoon of water and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Stir it up real good. Put it on like a, what do you call these things? Like a little cotton swab, a little cotton ball. Put it on like a little cotton ball and kind of like dab to the area. Okay, so you may feel a little tingle, but please don't ever put non-dilute apple cider vinegar on you. It's literally acid. It's acetic acid, and you don't want those problems. So again, make a 50-50 combination with water and apple cider vinegar. Now, before we get into like different foods and things, I want to talk about things that you can put directly on an outbreak, and there's not many. So Manuka honey, you can put directly on the outbreak and sit it there. Licorice root, you can put that directly on the outbreak, and as well as echinacea extract, you can put that directly on your skin. Let me be clear, okay? Because you'll be like, oh, I'm going to get some licorice root essential oil. No. If ever you are using an essential oil, and I'm going to tell you which ones to use. If ever you are using an essential oil, you can never put it directly on your skin, okay? You will burn the bejesus out of yourself. Don't ever do that, okay? I will talk you through how to have a proper oil that will be safe for you, but you don't want to put an essential oil directly on your body for any reason, okay? Don't let anybody tell you it's okay. It's never okay. If it's an essential oil, no ma'am, okay? Now, but manuka honey, licorice root, I guess licorice root extract, licorice root, and echinacea extract, they can be put directly on a lesion or the area or whatever the case may be, okay? Those are the only 3 things I'm gonna name today that can be put directly on there. We got the compress, that's one, but no direct ice. Put it in a washcloth. You can do it every 4 hours. We have that topical garlic. You can put that on, but it's gonna burn, just so you know. So you can skip it all together if you want to, but just so you know. Then we have the topical apple cider vinegar, which again, you can put it on, but you can't put it on by itself, like you have to dilute it. So that's a 50-50 dilution with water. Got it? Okay, and then the other things that we don't have to dilute and we can put directly on there is gonna be the manuka honey, the licorice root, and the echinacea extract. Got it? Okay, so now let's talk foods. You know, when we deal with any type of virus, all right, what is most important is beefing up and gearing up and guiding up your immune system, all right? So the supplements, some of the supplements that we're going to talk about in foods, all of these are not like, oh, boom, it's going to go in on my herpes. No, what it's going to do is beef up your immune system, and your immune system will go in on your herpes. Dig? Okay. So now when we talk about good foods, let's talk about salmon. It's great for mackerel, flax seeds, and chia seeds. All those things have actually been shown in studies to help with herpes outbreaks, the frequency of outbreaks, and the severity of outbreaks. So having salmon in your diet, maybe you put some chia seeds on your salad or on your smoothie, some flax seeds, and that helps with like your bowel regularity as well. Flax seeds also helps with like hypertension. It does a lot of different things, but salmon, mackerel, flaxseed, and chia seed, okay? Those are foods that are gonna be really good for helping with outbreaks, all right? Now, also, let's kind of get into supplements and delve into some more foods. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is a good one. Again, it helps with your immune system. And if you don't want to take a vitamin C supplement, you're not good with pills, you can do foods that are good in vitamin C, that are high in vitamin C, I'm sorry. So foods that are high in vitamin C are going to, or vitamin C rich foods are going to be like bell peppers, oranges, strawberries, mangoes, papayas. All of those things, be very careful to make sure you're hydrating well too, because like with mangoes and papayas and things like that, they have high levels of sugar. Although it's a natural sugar, it's still a sugar, sis. So make sure, or bro, so make sure you're hydrating very, very well. But vitamin C rich foods, and oftentimes African Americans, we're deficient in vitamin C too. And why is, not C2, but vitamin C as well. And why is that? That is because we cook our vegetables until them things are mushy, honey. Them supposed to be al dente. They're supposed to be a little crunchy. All right, they ain't supposed to be like the mush like we hits it with our collard greens and our kelp. And vegetables are what are high in vitamin C, and because we cook all the vitamin C up out of them, a lot of times we are deficient in vitamin C. Obviously, you know, y'all know I stay going hard for vitamin D, so that's a no-brainer. You know, we don't really even need to, you know, vitamin D is always going to be that girl. Foods that are high in zinc, okay, and those are going to be eggs, chickpeas, oats, beef. Now, let me be clear. If any of these things are not on your diet, please don't go adding them to your diet to your detriment, okay? Or to your doctor's gonna be like, what happened to your numbers? Because you were doing great. No. If, you know, you're not a beef eater, you don't eat carbs, you know, you don't eat dairy, then it's going to be difficult with zinc, but you could buy a zinc supplement. So if these foods are not okay for your diet, they're not okay for your life, they're not okay for your allergies, don't eat them. This is why they have vitamin C supplements. This is why they have zinc supplements. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is real near and dear to my heart because I check a lot of people on this. Y'all see, I got real comfortable. I got real sister girl about to talk about this. I check people on this because no fault of your own. You know, people have been misguided and miseducated on this particular vitamin, and it drives me low-key pollo loco, okay? So, vitamin B12 or B12 rich foods. Now let's talk about B12 because so many people have been fooled to think that B12 is going to help with your metabolism, it's going to help with weight loss. B12 actually helps with your neurological system, your nerves. This is why it helps with herpes, because herpes lives in nerves. Period. So it doesn't help with weight loss. It doesn't help with metabolism. And the only people who are generally really, really deficient in B12 are people who have had the gastric bypass, not even the gastric sleeve, the gastric bypass, because we're bypassing that part of the small intestine where the B12 is actually made. So, but foods that are rich in B12 are going to be beef, yet again, tuna, eggs, yet again, dairy products, and fortified cereal. I don't really know what fortified cereal is. I've seen it on like the cereal box. I don't know if they mean like the nasty cereal, the healthy cereal, because I don't think y'all Fruity Pebbles are going to be fortified, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a cereal eater, never have been. But it says fortified cereal when I did my research, so that too. But again, if we don't want to indulge in these foods that may or may not be on our diet plan, you could always just take a B12 supplement, okay? And just know it is not helping with your metabolism or your weight loss. It is helping with your neurological system and dealing with the nerves, and that is why we take it, okay? So we got that so far. We have everything. Now, I want to talk about foods to avoid before I talk about this oil that y'all can kind of rub down there. Foods to avoid are the foods that you should be avoiding on an everyday basis anyway. Juices, sodas, beer, processed foods. Causes a high level of inflammation and it gets an outbreak all nice and stirred up. So we don't want that. Foods, and honey, I didn't know this part, but foods that contain L-arginine. You're like, what the heck is L-arginine? So, almonds, interestingly enough, peanuts, spinach, and chocolate. All of those things will, again, worsen or could worsen an outbreak, okay? So we got it. We're avoiding processed food, juice, beer, soda, all the nonsense, almonds, peanuts, spinach, and chocolate. And this is, you know, my thing is that don't just do these things when you're having an outbreak. A lot of times you can do these things in prevention. Like if you know that, okay, let me take my supplements because I want to decrease the frequency of my outbreaks. As I said in my video, 1 to 2 outbreaks a year is found to be acceptable. If you notice you're having 1 to 2 every month, every other month, that's too much and you don't want to take the medication, great. Let's try and incorporate some lifestyle changes and choices that will hopefully help our immune system beef itself up, that will decrease our outbreaks. Make sense? Okay. So now, another thing, let's get to the supplements, hunty. Probiotics but it can't just be regular probiotics. Y'all ready? I'm going to put this down in the description too. I'm going to put a lot of this in the description, but I'm going to put this down in the description. It is probiotics that contain Lactobacillus Rhamnosus. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to put it down below, but it's Rhamnosus. So it's Lactobacillus Rhamnosus. That is what the probiotic has to contain in order to be in the space of helping with an outbreak. Got it? Cool. Now, let's talk about this essential oil. The oil that is saying that will kind of help. The oils. Now, all the oils I'm going to talk to you about are essential oils. But remember, I said essential oils cannot be applied directly to your skin. What does that mean? It means that in chemistry, it needs a carrier oil. So a carrier oil is like the main oil. If you can think about it like this, it's like the main oil that has a couple of drops of essential oil in it. So it's like an oil that may have some beneficial properties, but it's kind of just like hanging out. And then we add things to it and then it becomes medicinal. Does that make sense? Okay, so carrier oils. You can use things like jojoba oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil. Those are generally going to be your carrier oils. So like your jojoba oil is probably the most popular, but the jojoba oil, the coconut oil, or even olive oil. Okay. So you're going to start with that. So let's say you decide you're going to make an oil. Okay. And I'm giving y'all free game. Okay. This is free game. Let's say you decide that you're going to make an oil. Okay. I would say like, get like a cup. No, maybe like 2 cups, like the measuring cups, 2 cups of oil. If you're going to make something with, I don't know if I would use all these essential oils that I'm going to give you at one time, but either way, you just need 2 drops of essential oil. That's it. They usually come in little containers like this because you only need 2 drops. So I will put like 1 or 2 drops and that's it. Okay. Do this at your own risk. I'm just telling you what I would do. And I'm telling you as a chemist, not as a doctor, and it is what it is. If you are, do y'all want me to do this? But I don't know. I can't. I be wanting to help so bad, but I can't overwhelm my team anymore. So I love y'all, but let me just educate y'all. So here are the oils that you can use as essential oils. Okay. You can use eucalyptus oil, thyme oil. All of these have actually been kind of shown to help with herpes and herpes outbreaks. Eucalyptus oil, thyme oil, and I'll list these below. Lavendar oil, chamomile oil, ginger oil. I didn't know it was a thing, but ginger oil, lemon balm, aloe vera, tea tree oil. Sprinkle a little witch hazel in there if you want to. What is this? Oh, Mexican oregano oil and neem oil. Okay. So again, all of those are essential oils and they need carrier oils. So it's going to be a lot of carrier oil and a couple of drops of essential oil. You got it? And you can directly apply that to the lesion, the outbreak, the area. All right. All right, y'all. I hope this was entertaining. I hope this helped. The reason I decided to do it is because I know people come to me all the time and are looking for alternatives to medication, alternatives to going to the pharmacy. And because there's so much stigma with herpes and because there's so many people with herpes, like literally, I probably have the herpes discussion about 3 or 4 times a week. I probably haven't had a chlamydia discussion in about a month, maybe 2. So that is how prevalent it is. And with that being said, I'm like, well, you know, rather than have you guys go online and not get the proper way to do something or not get the proper information, let me just post some information on what you can possibly do in your kitchen to kind of help yourself out if that is your desire. I don't encourage either way. I just make the information readily available. So I hope this blessed somebody. I hope it helps. And then I'll see you the next time. Bye.